Good morning. Namaste. Welcome to Sunrise Yoga with Yoga Kirtan Hawaii, and I'm Krishna Acharya Dasi. Some of you may know me as April. And I've signed on a few minutes early because I want everyone to get a little notice that we're starting class soon. And I believe we still have 2 minutes, but today's class is about the lymphatic system. And I just want to give before we start class, because we got about 2 more minutes before we start, and I wanted to give you a little bit of a tutorial before we begin. But the lymphatic system, you have about over 1,000 lymph nodes in your body, and about 750 lymph clusters of lymph nodes. And the purpose of today's practice is to stimulate the flow of lymphatic fluid. Your lymphatic system is responsible for moving toxins through the body and out through the natural elimination system in the body. But the lymphatic vessels do not have their own pump. Your blood vessels are lined with muscle. They're hollow blood vessels lined with muscle, and they pump to move. There's muscle inside those blood vessels that pump the blood through your body. But your lymphatic vessels do not have their own pump. And so the only way to move lymph is through movement, breathing, and self-massage or massage by someone else. So the lymph nodes, the lymph clusters that we're working with are usually found in joints that have more complex movement. Like you have groups of lymph nodes in the armpit, the pelvis. You have lymph nodes throughout the neck. So although you have over 1,000 lymph nodes in the body and 750 clusters, 70% are in your neck, which is why when you get some type of lymphatic infection, the lymph nodes in the neck, that swelling is the most noticeable. So we'll spend a lot of time moving the lymph from the neck towards the heart. So ideally you want to move lymphatic fluid towards the heart so it goes through the circulatory system and eliminate it as waste out of the body. And the lymph nodes in these particular spots, like behind the knees, the pelvis, the armpits, the neck, they collect toxins that flow through the lymph vessels. They collect them. So today's class is about moving the lymph and creating a purposeful squish in those areas where the lymph nodes collect toxins, so that we move the lymphatic fluid through the body and stimulate our immune system functioning well. So above all, the most important thing is when you practice, to practice according to your own body's abilities. Don't do anything that hurts. Stop if you need to. It's okay to stop and rest and lay on your back. If something is painful, don't do it. I just said it, but it's a reminder. And we'll get started. So you'll start off with your feet about shoulder width apart. Bend your knees and just start to shake the body. And what I'd like you to do is let the heels bounce up and down, and you'll tap the heels along the floor and create this vibratory action throughout your whole body. And this vibration will not only stimulate the flow of lymphatic fluid, but this deep vibration also makes your fascia system, the deep tissue system, the connective tissue system, more hydrated so that you can move more freely. Take deep breaths in and out through your nose. The heels are just tapping along the floor. Let your shoulders bounce up and down. And if you have the strength in your feet and ankles, take it to a little bit of a jump. And with your breathing, a little bit of an exhale every time you land, even if you're not jumping. And you can do that through your nose or your mouth. Then start to breathe in and out through your nose. Stop the bouncing and shake your arms. And take your arms out to the side and up. So you're stimulating that flow of lymph from the wrist and elbows down toward the armpits, toward the heart. Your breathing is also a primary way to move lymph. Your diaphragm goes up and down. Keep shaking as I talk. You just keep going. I want you to understand what we're doing. Your diaphragm moves up and down. When you inhale, the diaphragm goes down. You exhale, the diaphragm goes up. When the diaphragm goes down, on the way up, it picks up lymphatic fluid in your gut and draws it up towards your heart. So deep breathing is incredibly important for moving lymph, thus keeping your immune system healthy. So this whole practice is about your immune system, and I encourage you to come back to it throughout the week because it will stay on this page. Come back to your whole body shake, popping the heels, just let them jump up and down. Turn a little bit to your right, to the left, big breath. Oh, and then you stop moving and you can feel this vibration through your body, and that feeling of vibration through your body, some people describe it as subtle energy moving, which it is, but also that vibration is it letting you know that your deep fascial layers and tissue layers are more hydrated. Now you can't see my feet really clearly because I couldn't get the camera far back enough, but turn your toes out like that. And then rotate to the left and pick up your right heel, and your torso will turn. And notice if you feel any stretch through the groin, and then go to the other side. So you turn to the left and your right heel comes up, and let your whole pelvis turn. And then give your groin here on the right side a little bit of a tap. Squeeze your right buttock cheek. And then go to the other side. Turn to the right. Squeeze your left buttock and press your pelvis forward. Tap into the left groin. Breathe deep. And then just take that into a fluid twist. You can let your heel come up when you rotate. Swing your arms. And because 70% of your lymph nodes are in the neck area, we'll pause our swinging and go work with that. So come to the point where your body gradually stops. I want you to take your fingers and put your index finger behind your ear and the other fingers in front. I'm trying to not bump into my earbud here, but I want you to do a little bit of scrubbing. And move your feet around. You don't need to stand in one place. And then scrub on one side of the neck, and then the other, and take some deep breaths. And then just grab neck flesh and pull down towards your heart. Even turn your head a little. And so notice how when I reach around the right side of my neck, my head turns to the right. Then you reach around the left side of your neck, your head turns to the left. Lift your chin. Take deep breaths. And so this has multi-purposes. You're moving lymphatic fluid. You're also stimulating vagal nerve pathways that help to calm you down regulate your nervous system. And then brush to the front of the neck. Now put one hand on top of the other, just underneath your collarbone here. Press down and drag down towards your heart, so you're applying some pressure and you feel like you're pulling the skin down, but apply a little more pressure than just the skin. Let your shoulders drop and just turn your head from right to left. Center, look up and down. So you're dragging down as the head goes up. And if your hands start to move, just renew the position by putting them back in place. Now switch your hands around, put the other hand on the bottom, turn your head to the right and look up and down. Look up, open and close your mouth. Turn your head to the left, just to the diagonal. Lift your chin up and down. Today's class is about 45 minutes, maybe 50. Chin up, open and close. Center. Take your right shoulder, your left shoulder, and pull it down. Right ear to the shoulder. And reach, don't just reach your hand down. Think of reaching your elbow away. So the elbow reaches out. And again, you can move if you want. You don't have to stand in one place. You can rock your body from side to side. And move your arm forward and back as the head drops to the side. So it's just a moving forward and back. Put your left fingertips on your shoulders and make big circles. And the head is still dropping over to the right. Now bring your head up, raise your left arm and tap into your armpit where you have a cluster, lymph nodes, and down the sides of the ribs. Deep breath in. And then the other side, we'll do the tapping before the stretch through into the armpit and then down the ribs. Take a deep breath in. And then release that arm, bring your left ear to your shoulder, and breathe here. And so feel the right shoulder drop down and back even, and think of reaching your elbow away from your shoulder, and move the arm forward and back. Deep breath in and out. And then the head comes back up. Bring your feet about hip width, right hand on your hip. Raise your left arm and bend your elbow and push your hips to the right. Take a deep breath in. And the other side, bring your right arm up, left hand on your hip, and push your hips to the right. If you can, keep your knees straight. Breathe. Now focus your breath and your mental focus in the armpit, the lymph nodes through the armpit, the movement of the rib cage as the diaphragm goes up and down. And then we'll come up. Take your right leg and put it in front of your left so the legs are crossing each other. Both feet are flat on the floor. Right hand on the hip. Left arm comes up. And push your hips to the left. So both your feet are flat, but your front knee is bent. And the back knee is straight. Breathe. And we'll switch sides. So put the left leg in front, both feet flat on the floor, left hand on the hip, right arm up. Push your hips to the right. Take a breath in and out. Ideally, the front knee is bent because it will help you balance better. If you had both legs straight, you might feel like you're going to fall over. And then come on up. And then again, go back to your shaking. The heels tap on the floor, knees are soft. Take the arms out and up, down. And just go up and down. The breath is full and deep. And then you can stop. Stomp your right foot. Pretty good. Coaxing the flow of lymph up from the feet and ankles. And then stomp the left. And just pause for a moment and notice how you feel. Full deep breaths. Make our way down to the floor on our hands and knees. And I'm just going to move my camera down just a little. Yeah. So come onto your hands and knees. Knees under your hips. You can have your wrist under your shoulders, but if your wrists bother you, it's okay to move your hands out in front of you a little bit further so the angle at the wrist is less. And all I want you to do is move your spine around, feel, and this isn't structured. You can do a cat-cow movement, you can move your hips from side to side, or you can take your spine in circles. What I want you to do is just feel and become aware of your spine. Arch your back, side bend your spine, both directions. And this is a moment, a freestyle moment of you're asking yourself, being curious, what does my spine feel like today? What does my back feel like today? And if you become aware of, you can shift your hips back past your knees. I seriously want you to just move and discover what your body feels like this morning. Think about that, just like, oh, okay, I feel that kink there. And you're not trying to figure out what you did to cause it or how to fix anything that you feel. It's just simply an awareness exercise. Be curious. With curiosity, move your hips to the right and left. Shift your hips back. Now you'll shift your hips back. Let's do this together. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, step forward. Just pick your hands up and step your right leg forward into a lunge. Bring your hands on your thighs, on your right thigh. And then put that foot back. Put your knees down. Shift your hips back once again. And then bring your left foot forward into a lunge. And we'll stay here on the left side. Shift your hips back so your hips are over your knees. And I want you to get a bit of a tuck. Think about these lymph nodes, this big cluster of lymph nodes we have here. And what if you were to squish them? Just shift back, give them a little bit of a squish, and then come forward. You can put your hands on the floor. If you have yoga blocks, you can put your hands on blocks. Whatever works for your body so that you can shift your hips back and forward. Now squeeze this buttock, press the pelvis, shift back. And you're just massaging into this cluster of lymph nodes in the right groin and the left groin as well, because of the way that your body is positioned. Now shift forward and put your right hand on the floor or on a yoga block, whatever support you need. Actually, we're going to change that. Bring both your hands to the inside of your left foot. That's what I meant to do. There you go. And then shift the hips back again. Now put both hands inside and pause. And you can keep your hands here. If you have the flexibility, you can bring your elbows down. If you want to use blocks, you can stack them and put your elbows on the block. Whatever you need to get comfortable to hold this position, you can do it. I'm going to stay on my hands on this side. And what you may experience, you might feel a deep stretch through this right hip flexor. You might feel something deep going into the left hip and groin. All of it is good, as long as there isn't a lot of pain, like sharp pain. Now walk your hands over to the right. Just walk them to the right. So now your fingers point to the right, and breathe. Now use the breath to stimulate the flow of life. Feel the belly swell, then exhale, draw the belly in. Now come back to the center. Put your right hand on the floor, left hand behind your head. Open up, turn your chest towards your left thigh, and then back down to the center. Open up, turn your chest towards your left thigh, and then back down. Chest toward the thigh. One more time. And then release your hips back. Come back to kneeling and shift back into a baby pose. Your knees can be wide apart, big toes touching, and just pause for a moment. Set the hips back and lean. Your arms are stretched out in front of you. Walk your hands out and just lean into your right shoulder and then to your left shoulder. And breathe like you're pushing your left elbow to the floor and then the right elbow to the floor. Moving your torso into a rotation, right and left. And then with the elbows drop in the center, let the head come down to however comfortable. Take a breath or two here. And come on up to your knees again. A little bit of a tuck. Squeeze your butt, press your pelvis forward because I'm going to move your camera up a little bit. Your lymphatic system depends upon muscular action to work. So when we're engaging muscles, your glutes, your quads, your hip flexors, all of it is helping move lymphatic fluid. So tuck your toes. Before we go to the other side, all I want you to do is raise your arms up, inhale. And then as you exhale, shift the hips back, bring your hands behind your back, and bow forward. Inhale, hips forward, arms up. Exhale, hips back, arms down. Inhale. Press your pelvis forward, arms up. And exhale. If tucking your toes in this position doesn't work, you can point your toes back. Again, inhale, up. Exhale. Inhale, press the pelvis forward. Exhale, hips back. So you're squishing, you're stretching and opening up these pelvic, the lymph nodes and the groin. And then as you exhale, you give them a little squish and squeeze out lymph fluid. One more time. And exhale. Now step your right leg forward into a lunge. And you can have your fingers down on the floor or on blocks and just shift the hips back and then shift forward. Squeeze that left butt cheek. You can put your right hand on your thigh if you like, or hands on the floor. It's not a big issue. I want you to find the movement in your body that feels good through the hips and the pelvis. Now come forward, put both hands to the inside of your right leg. You can be on your palms, your elbows, on yoga blocks, whatever feels good for you, and breathe here. And then just bring your awareness to this bit of a squishiness of the groin lymph nodes on the right side and the openness of the groin lymph nodes on the left. Steady breath. Feel the belly swell when you inhale. Draw it in on the exhale. Bring your right hand behind the head. Inhale, rotate the chest open towards your right thigh. Exhale down. Inhale. Exhale. And if you get the breath backwards, it's okay. It's not that big a deal. I just want you to focus on the breath. Just breathe. So breathing helps to move the lymph. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Now keep your right foot where it is. Walk your hands to the left. So all 10 fingers point to the left. And breathe here. Feel the belly swell. Take 2 more full breaths. Walk the hands back to the center. Shift the hips back. Come into baby pose. This time, if it works for your knees, your feet and ankles, try bringing your knees together. And walk your arms out. And again, rock the left shoulder towards the floor. And then the right shoulder towards the floor. Rock the left. And the right. One more time each side. And notice what that feels like in your hips and your lower back. Come back to the center and walk your hands in. Let's come onto your back. back. Your knees are bent, feet flat on the floor. And just take a few full breaths here. Feel the swelling of the belly and the rib cage. Now bring your arms up, your legs up over your, just lift your feet off the floor. Shake your legs. And so you're moving or coaxing any type of stagnant fluid, lymphatic fluid, from the ankles and feet, from the knees down into the pelvis. So if we stand a lot during the day, I thought I was doing really good for my body and getting a stand-up desk. I stand up a lot when I'm working at my desk, but if I stand all day long, my feet swell. So this is excellent for moving the stagnant lymphatic fluid from the lower body toward the pelvis. Then, of course, if you sit all day, you can also get swollen feet or back issues or hip issues from sitting all day. So the moral of the story is to move. Keep moving. And bring your feet to the floor. All 10 toes point forward, arms down by your side. Squeeze your butt and bridge your hips up. Press your pelvis up towards the ceiling. Hips come down. Hug the left knee to the chest. Put that left foot to the floor. Breathe in. Exhale, bridge your hips up. Inhale, hips down. Right knee to chest, exhale. So you're squishing and massaging those growing lymph nodes. Foot down, breathe in. Exhale, getting a bit of expansion, not only through the lymph here in the pelvis, but coaxing the fluid to move towards the heart. Hips down, breathing in. Exhale, left knee to the chest, giving a bit of squish to those lymph nodes on the left side. Foot down, breathe in. Exhale, hips up. Stay here in your hips up position. Raise your arms and give them a shake. Stay very stable through your pelvis. Breathe. And then lower the hips and the arms and pull the right knee to your chest. Let's bring that leg down. And again, bridge your hips up. Scooch the shoulders down away from the ears. And when you're in a bridge pose, just once you know what you're doing, just stay up. I don't want you to turn your head from right to left with this kind of pressure on your shoulders and your neck. So keep your eye gaze very steady. And then bring the hips down. Extend your legs. Turn your head from side to side. Our movement gets a little bit more active now. Pull your right knee to your chest. Take a breath in. No, that's your left knee, sorry. Left knee. Change to your left knee. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, curl up. Bring your forehead towards your knee. Can you stay here and breathe? And then come down. And then we'll switch legs. Bring the right knee in. So you're squishing into those lymph nodes in the groin on the right side. And you breathe in. Exhale, curl up. A little bit of muscular activation. So just moving your body stimulates the flow of lymph. But we're just giving a little bit of extra attention Come on down to specific areas. Stretch your arms out to the side. Take your left leg and cross it over. This is not a big lift. It's just pick up your left leg, cross it over, and let your hips roll over onto the right hip so that you're in a twist. Your head turns to the left and reach your left arm out. Take a big breath in. Actively reach through the left arm. And then come back to the center. And the other side. So the right leg just comes up, just lift and cross it over the left. And actively reach that right leg away. It's as if someone were pulling your right ankle. And then actively reach your right arm in the opposing direction and breathe. Someone's pulling the right ankle and pulling the right arm. As big a breath as you can. And then come back to the center. Feet are flat. And take a breath here. Now you stay where you are. I'm just going to flip sides because of the way that I want to start the next exercise, and I want it to be clear. So bend both knees and stretch your arms out to the side. Bring your, and you don't have to have your feet close to your butt, move them out. Keep this left arm stretched out. Put your left foot on top of your right knee. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, begin to twist. So be one moment, I'm going to pause. It's not ankle, it's the sole of your left foot. And now exhale, twist over to the right. Now you'll twist so much that your legs go close to the floor and your left shoulder will pop up. I want that left shoulder to pop up as long as it doesn't hurt your shoulder. And you'll feel, we're focusing on the lymph nodes through the left armpit and the muscular action through the chest on the left side. And you'll just lift and lower your left arm as you take deep breaths. Breathe in and breathe out. This muscular action through the pectoral muscles in the chest and throughout the shoulder ideally is helping to activate and pump the lymphatic fluid from those lymph clusters in your armpit. Big breath in. As I lift and lower that arm. And again. And exhale. Now just let that shoulder settle wherever it's going to settle. Take another deep breath in. Exhale. And then come back to the center. Stay where you are. I'm just going to flip for clarity's sake. Now put the sole of your right foot on your left thigh. Take a breath in. Exhale, twist to the left. So much so that your right shoulder comes up off the floor. Now, if you're really flexible and your shoulder doesn't lift, that's okay. You'll just still move your arm in the same way. Breathe. And remember, if something doesn't hurt, you have my permission to adjust the pose in the way that it works for you. You just may need to give yourself permission to do that. Now,
lift and lower that arm, engaging the muscle action throughout the chest, and take deep breaths in. Now, if this hurts your shoulder, you may need to bend your elbow. That'll help. Keep going while I explain. The longer lever with the straight arm might be a bit more challenging. If you just can't do it, bend your elbow and see if that helps. And then stop the movement. Breathe steady, relax. Back to center. Bring both feet flat to the floor. Just take a moment to notice how you feel. Arms down at your side. And once again, lift your legs, shake. Bring your feet to the floor, breathe in. Exhale, bridge the hips up. I'm going to stay here. Scooch the shoulders down away from the ears, but don't turn your head here. Just lift and stay focused inwardly. It doesn't matter how high you lift, just lift. Now slowly lower down. Hug your knees to your chest. Now bring the palms of your hands on top of your knees for sacrum massage. Fingers pointing towards your toes, and make some circles. Stay where you are. And switch directions with your circle. And begin to observe the massage deep in front of your sacrum, deep in your pelvis. Bring your feet flat to the floor. Steady the breath. Now extend your legs. Turn your palms up. Separate your legs. And allow the weight of your body to drop heavy towards the floor. And as you do that, first become aware of the way that your body is laying into the floor. Notice your calves and your heels and their contact with the earth. Also, your hips. Do you feel your lower back in contact with the earth? Or not? How about your mid-back, your shoulders, elbows and palms, or the back of your hands, and back of your head as well? Now become aware of your breathing, the expansion of your abdomen when you inhale. And on the exhale, the softening of your abdomen. The secret to abdominal breathing is simply to relax the belly. If you relax the belly, it will move naturally with the up and down movement of your diaphragm. Can you be absolutely still? Still and relaxed without falling asleep. Allow your jaw to soften. And your tongue to fall towards the back of your head. Clench your fists and open your palms. Clench and open. Do the same thing with your feet. Curl your toes and spread them. Clench the soles of your feet and then stretch them out. We'll practice a Goranga breath meditation. You can stop moving your feet and ankles. And I'm going to roll over and sit up. You can stay where you are, lying on your back, or you can bend your knees, roll to your side, and sit up. It's completely up to you. So for me, I'm going to sit on a block because it helps me sit up straight. I want you to sit however you like. You can sit in a chair, lay on your back, lay on your side. You can stand up. Whatever works. The main point is to focus on the breath and the sound more so than the position of your body. Gora Anga is the sound we're focusing on. The mantra. The purpose of mantra is a mantra is a transcendental sound vibration that is meant to draw the mind away from stress, anxiety, and fear. So we'll practice together. You'll deep breath in, and on the inhale, repeat the mantra, Gora Anga, within your mind, and then you'll say it verbally with the mouth. The more you focus on the sound, especially on the inhale, the more you'll experience the effects of this deeply moving meditation. Deep breath in. And we're repeating.
One more. One long, steady Om. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. I hope that I want to encourage you to, throughout the week, scroll back and practice this. Just go back to the replay and practice it regularly to help stimulate your immune system function. We all need a healthy, strong immune system right now. And we all need our lymphatic system to move toxins out so that we can be stronger and our ability to fight off infection. And I'll be here next week for all of December. And thank you so much, and I'm wishing you a wonderful day. Continue to tune in to Yoga Kirtan Hawai'i for more meditations and yoga during the week. There's also Qigong. I've seen some Qigong and practiced some Qigong practice on this channel as well. So just join us regularly for Kirtan and all the fun stuff going on. Wishing you a wonderful day and an awesome weekend and week.